What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Black Box Beat. I'm Kang.
I'm Maria.
And I'm Hells. All right.
The fundamentals of trading never change and are tried and true. Patience, discipline, and risk management are the pillars of every trader's journey. This leads directly into who we are at Black Box Stocks, a community that maximizes opportunity by watching money move in real time. We have also changed the game into a team sport with a robust community of both bulls and bears, offering strong narratives backed by expert chartists and some of the most elite flow heads on the planet. We collectively are Black Box Stocks, and together, nothing can stop us.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Black Box Beat. Kang, tell me, my man, what you got trending now?
So right now in this market, we've had this kind of run up lately, and we had an issue in 2022 where the market didn't necessarily trust the Fed, even though the Fed's kind of like saying the same thing over and over and over again, but the market really didn't trust it. Well, we've kind of pulled back now a little bit. I'm going to be watching the bond yields, specifically the 10-year, because it has been moving up, and that can definitely be a headwind for the market as well as the dollar index. Today we saw the 10-year march right up to that 4% level, and I think that's going to be very key. And so now we're in the market. We're right down here on SPX. 39.38 is that 200-day moving average. So really a key kind of crossroads in the market, so to speak, technically. And so right now, we're at that kind of fork in the road. We've got bond yields going up. We've got the dollar going up. Very interesting spot. So I've got my eyes peeled right in this area.
I agree, Kang. I'm definitely keeping an eye on those same areas, the same levels. And I do think it's really interesting how that narrative has changed over the years from, back in the trade war days to COVID. And now we've moved to a time where people who would never normally have watched the yields or the dollar are now having to pay attention to that.
Yeah, Kang. And Mario, to your point, I think you nailed it on the head when you talked about a crossroads, because I think that's exactly where we are with the messaging. It's like we know where the terminal rate has been stated to be. That really hasn't moved all that much. Really, it's like if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have said, yeah, no, we're definitely going to push to the upside. Now I think that crossroad becomes that much more murky, with everything literally being as clear as mud at this point. So you both make outstanding points.
And I love that you said that, clear as mud, because that's exactly what's
Mhm.
trending for me. Absolutely nothing, right? It's just day after day after day where we see very speculative buying into the names that we like to see, those high beta, high growth names. We see that spec buying, very short dated, no conviction behind that trade, and we still have not come to a point where we see any conviction flow. And I think that just solidifies the fact that we don't have a choice but to be patient. When smart money wants to put their money to work, that's when we want to move, and we have to be prepared for when that time comes.
Yeah, Martin. It's like again, it's like that whole clear as mud thing and crossroads. It's like that right now the market is utterly rudderless, and you can see it on the chart. Really, no matter what time frame you look at, you want to look at a daily, a weekly, monthly. It's like, what are we doing? Nothing. It's like, what's going on? Nothing. It's like, are we going to go up? Yeah, for 15 minutes. Then what are we going to do? We're going to go right back down. Then maybe go back up. It's like right now the market is in such this weird little ball of shenanigan that you have to be sharp. You have to take your opportunities, and you have to enter in the right spot and exit just as perfectly. Wild times, tough stuff.
I would say it's a little fun though. It's a scalper's paradise, I have to admit. Although it kind of sucks, from a swing perspective. It's been kind of fun, to really move between those technical areas. Like right now, 39, 68, 65 today was decent resistance, and then of course that 200-day moving average down there was support, and so just nice to kind of ping pong between those areas.
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
agree there. Absolutely.
So it's like when I'm trying to figure out at the end of the day, as far as what's trending for me, and I want to take a brief moment to kind of talk about the consumer and us, while at the same time highlighting kind of where we've been and maybe where we're going. Together over the last few years, we have seen some peaks and some valleys, some highs and lows. If we go back to the run off of mega cap, all the way down to the COVID lows, to the overall market recovery, as we literally whistle past the graveyard with bodies piling up, both domestically and globally, to make yet a new all-time high, only to have the Fed pivot once again. The Fed's pivot and what they're doing at this point directly affects the consumer and us in literally all aspects of our life. At this point, their desire to create a higher unemployment, to destroy the job market, destroy the housing market. These are all things point blank that the Fed has said that they're trying to do under the ruse of demand destruction. This is where we are. This is what is going on. So not only are we paying more at the pump, we're paying more for eggs, we're paying more to trade at the same time. There is no win as long as the Fed continues this path. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the treatment cannot be worse than the disease. And that's kind of what's trending for me.
So Hells, you're saying you don't like stripping for a dozen eggs, right? Everybody's got to get their hustle
At least
on.
the 18 bag, man. At least give me the 18 bag.
All right. Well, let's get right on into it. Where is the money flowing? Hopefully, it's flowing right on into our pockets. But let's talk about that. Where is the money flowing, folks?
Well, like I said earlier, just a few moments ago, very, very speculative buying. Sector-wise, I'm not really seeing anything too specific to where, I can say, oh, they're definitely going after tech, or they're definitely going after defensive names, things like that. But we have seen just a little bit of buying into Upstart. They bought some March 21 calls over 500,000, shorter dated. Again, you can see on the chart, decent risk reward there. You're buying it at a decent spot, and we've got a couple weeks on that, and we'll see how that works out. That is a trade that we did take.
Yeah, Mari, it's like I think Upstart is one of those that has the ability to perform fairly well in this environment. I think their business mix is pretty good. The flow said it was, and ultimately that trade has worked out pretty well. So yeah, I'm definitely with you there. I think for me, at the end of the day, what's trending, and we talked about it, not trending, but where's the money flowing? It's flowing nowhere. It literally at this point is on a road to nowhere, and this is how you know that BlackBoxStocks is working and the flow is working. Because if you take the flow, okay, and then you take that and put it up against the charts, any time frame, we're going nowhere. And the flow is saying that. Within the same 15-minute period, they can come in and just they're going to bang, let's say AMD, call, just firing on it. 30 minutes later, they're dumping out the calls and hitting puts. This is a very wild market, and you have to be savvy with what you're looking at and how you're kind of getting in and executing, understanding that, you can swing, right? You can swing, maybe now it's like your swing is like 15 minutes. It's literally, if you're in a trade longer than 15 minutes, ultimately, you might have done something wrong. And it's like even today, just for example, I saw some really fun looking square flow out the next week. Took the trade. If I take a trade out the next week, I'm prepared to go ahead and camp in. What I went from 98 cents to a $1.06 and be like, take a couple of contracts off and declare victory. It's like some of it, the activity, because they have at least me a little bit kind of sketched out. It's like, why? So tomorrow I can buy it at 80 cents and then have it right back to $1. The game is really weird right now, and you have to be sharp and very, very savvy. So
Hey, this is one of those times where being quick is socially acceptable.
I'm not about that life, man. I'm not about that. I like to get in, sit in, marinate. I want to.
Hey, sometimes being fast, man, it ain't a bad thing.
Man,
But I will say one thing, Hal. Is that when they're ready to put in work, we'll know it. It's going to be very visible.
Absolutely.
All right, folks.
So
Up
that
next.
takes us into the next game. Kang, Jack, Mary, kill.
Yeah, this one right here is the most, sounds like the most dramatic of our segments, right? So I'm going to be talking about SPX. I like this setup here technically. This is on the longer time frame. Kind of referenced this one earlier. Rising wedge right here. And I'm going to be looking at this one. We're pretty much right here at support. I mentioned earlier that 39.38 is your 200. I am going to be shagging SPX. I like the setup here. So just waiting on a break in either direction, either that 39.38 or, either 4,000 into the upside, but I am definitely shagging SPX. I like it.
Agreed with you there. It's a shag for me as well. I like the level that you're watching. I love that channel that you have drawn on your chart. And I agree. I think there's opportunity upside or downside on either a bounce off that area or a break of. So it's a shag for me.
Yeah, I think everybody's watching that exact same level and waiting for the exact same break. And honestly, Kang, normally I would hammer you for not picking a direction one way or the other off of that break. But I'm going to give you a pass, man, because I can't see clarity within the flow. So I'm going to have to give you a pass on this one because I don't think that there is clarity on whether or not that's going to hold or not. So it's like ultimately we're all going to be shagging it one way or the other. We got to wait. Got to wait.
What else? You're gonna give me a pass on not being able to see the future? That's what
Huh?
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I know
It's
you
the
have
only,
a magic 8 ball. You can pick a direction,
the only pass I'll give you. How about that?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
right? So one ticker that I'm going to kill is Triple D, 3D Systems, DDD. And they came in and bought the March $12 calls. You'll see that entry on the chart in yellow. And what we were looking for is a break of that area of resistance that is circled in red. We did not get that. And DDD has just been down, pretty much down since then. I like that flow. It typically is fun to play. It's usually a quick mover, a quick gain too. And in this case, it just did not work out. It is a kill for me.
Yeah, I think so. It's like if for no other reason to piss you off, I'm in. I'm into killing.
Right.
Yeah, based on that technical setup too, I'm a kill as well. So I'm rolling with you, Mario. Definitely a kill for DDD for me as well.
Right on. All right, we all agree. Neat. All right. So let's get into my little pick here. PLTR, which is one of the most wild tickers out there. It is known to be a meme stock. I have an appreciation for their business mix. Anytime you can mix like data and intelligence, and then ultimately see a through line to AI, I think it's something that I have to take a look at, especially with it being up against the support coming off of an ER to where they posted a GAAP profit for I believe the first time. So I think there's some things moving in the right direction for the ticker. It did come down and fill its gap. I did enter a trade on it yesterday based off of some put writing that was coming a couple of days ago. We had some decent bits I puts come through on it. So I am in the trade out to April. It's going to be something that I'm going to be watching, kind of adding and playing with. PLTR. I'm going to try to marry that one.
That one is going to be I'm going to call that one a shag. That's a shag for me. I like the technical setup. I like that flow typically tends to work out there. I do like how it moves, so it's a shag for me.
I'm shagging that one as well. I like the technical setup, looking a little overbought there, or excuse me, a little bit oversold there. So I like the technical setup here. So I'm rolling too. I'm not quite ready to make the commitment to marry, but I'll shag it. So I'm gonna shag it.
Right on. We'll take it. All right. So what do we have next? We have the chat room chatter. And the word of the day is what, Kang? Tell me the word of the
It
day.
is. It is patience. It is patience. It's kind of like I almost feel like chat room chatter. It's like back in the. I mean, I'm an '80s baby, so it's back in the day when Pee Wee Herman, when they're like, when you say the secret word, scream. But definitely patience is needed, folks. Patience is a key part of your toolkit as a trader. And I think that we all can agree that these recent days in the market have taught us that patience, whether it be for setups or letting your trade develop, is very key. Because I always look at it like a bus stop. If you miss something, another bus will be along, but definitely don't try to chase it. But patience, patience, patience is very key to your toolkit there as a trader.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. Only problem is I lack patience. Being self-aware, being self-aware is something that is very important to me at the end of the
Hey,
day.
it's good that you know that. It's good that you
It's
know
like,
that.
look, it's one of my strong suits is being self-aware. So it's like, look, patience is something that I really struggle with. I want to get in and go, no matter what it is. And so the last couple of weeks in the market have been very, very trying. It's like even when you get the direction right, you're getting chopped around with your premiums left and right. Trying time. That word, patience, sucks, dude. Sucks.
I love how we used the play on the word there. And we've done this commonly, but for those that don't know, because I know we do have some people that may not necessarily be members tuning in. So instead of the typical spelling, where we actually spelled it P-A-Y, patience, instead of your normal spelling. And that is because practicing patience leads to payment, right? Or leads to getting paid. And I agree with the both of you. I think that patience is so key. I think that's something that's pretty cool. Like throughout this entire show so far, I think that we have all, one thing that we have all emphasized throughout the entire thing is that you have to have patience. Um, Instead of just getting chopped up and getting frustrated and stuff like that, it's a lot easier just to kind of sit back, take trades more selectively, understand what's going on, do some more studying, and then, of course, when the time is right, we can make a move. But patience it is.
Yeah, Mario, it's like you're really really correct about that, and it's like there just because it's not moving and moving and grooving the way you want it to, there's always time to look. There's always time to investigate additional charts to figure out what's going on. And I think that what you said, and I'll say it quickly, if we go back to the flow and being patient and waiting for the big money to come back in until the Fed gives us a reason, okay, until some of the data gives us a reason, I really think we're stuck in this little channel and until they give it. So what are you going to do? You're going to fight nothing but a ghost? Not fun.
Agreed. I agree. So this is one of my favorite parts of our show. We have a tremendous, amazing community of traders out there, and we have a member from or a question from one of our members from Screwdrive25. Screwdrive asks, "What's the best advice that you could give to a new options trader?" And number one, patience. That's a big deal. We've talked about it. That's a huge, huge deal. I think it's very important that you start off studying and observing. You really have to learn what kind of trader you are and tailor what you're studying towards that. From there, it's practice, journaling, taking small trades, developing a plan that's specific to you, because what works for me isn't going to work for Kang. It's not going to work for Hellsbells. What works for either of them is not going to work for me. So you have to kind of pick and pull from various other traders and design your own plan that's going to help you be successful.
Yeah, Mario. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put you on the spot here. So if I'm talking to a new trader, the first thing I'm going to tell them to do, sign up for BlackBoxStocks. Find
That's
out
true.
find out where Maria is trading, what room she's going to be in, and sit your ass down and listen to what she has to say. I think there's something to this, and I'll try to say it quickly. Years ago, Maria said something in the room that resonated with me and stuck in my heart more than anything that I think anybody has ever told me or any advice that I've ever gotten. And that was, if you can master this, if you can make this, get this in your toolbox, you can have freedom. You don't have to worry about anything else that happens around you. As long as there is a market, you can survive. You said that, and at the time, maybe it was a throwaway for you, but it stuck with me more than you can ever know, from the standpoint that you're right. It's like the only thing that everybody wants at the end of the day is freedom, right? That's what we all strive for. This is your chance to achieve that. You can be free if you really dedicate yourself to learning an actual trade, something that you can take with you everywhere. And plus, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
I'm happy you
Mhm.
remembered that. I'm happy you carried that with you. I really am. That means a lot.
It's real stuff, man. You said it, and it sat with me. So thank you.
So I'm from the South, and barbecue is a big thing down here. Sorry, vegetarians. But low and slow, I would say trade low in terms of the amount of contracts that you buy. One on SPY or SPY is good, so that you don't have a lot of exposure out there, and trade slow. Take your time, absorb as much as you can. We have a really good education offering here and a really good community to help you shorten your learning curve. And so I know that that really helped me out a lot when I ventured into trading options full time. So I would just say take it easy. I think a lot of people have a tendency to want to get rich quick, and they try to make big bets or big risk, and they blow up their account, or burn out really quickly. So just take it easy. So let's get right on into the next one. Sometimes, folks, everything might be lining up. and it just looks good. Might be looking at the flow or a chart, and it just all like the stars are aligning. And sometimes you just have a bad break, and so the
It
next one,
happens.
what's going on, Hills?
It happens. All right. So here's the segment we're going to be doing. It's called Bad Beat. I think while this doesn't necessarily qualify as a bad beat, I think it's something that unless you were sitting there locked into flow all day, you might have missed this. Let's talk about Nvidia yesterday a little bit. Towards the end of the day, they came in with absolute. It's like, look, for the most part, Nvidia flow has been fairly bullish for the past several days post ER. We had some really nice flow coming in. They kept on banging it, banging it. They're banging up in the 250s over again. Towards the end of the day yesterday, we had an absolute monsoon of a tidal wave, if you will. Tsunami, don't know if I said it, but that happened too. Of put flow coming in on the 230 weeklies. You do not get that type of angry flow in the last couple of minutes of the day on a weekly ticker. That was massive amounts of money banging through. What happened after hours within minutes? Oh, gee, we're going to go ahead and do a $10 billion file for a $10 billion offering. Somebody knew. We knew also at the end of the day. So if you're sitting there on the sidelines on the couch watching right now, if for no other reason you're not a member of BlackBoxStocks, that trade, that flow right there should be a reason for you to sign up. That would literally pay for your membership, okay? Just a couple of contracts of what they did for the next year. That's it. That's all you had to do. But if you're not a member, you don't see that. You don't know that. You don't understand that. But it was there. So if you were on the wrong end of that Nvidia trade, I feel sorry for you. I really, really do.
Well, folks, that wraps up this inaugural episode of Black Box Beats. We're so glad that you guys joined us today. Please make sure to hit us up on Twitter. We are there at BlackBoxStocks. Would love to see you in the community as well. Also, please, if you are not like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please make sure you do that. Just hit up BlackBoxStocks on YouTube, and that's where we will have these episodes moving forward. So thank you so much for joining us today. Was very glad to have you. And until next time, everybody, stay
Bye,
green.
guys. See you later.